we're gonna get back to that. We have a call from Florida from Judy. Welcome to Clean Radio, Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I heard that you were talking about weed
Yes.
a few minutes ago, and the question I have is, what is the difference between using it recreationally versus becoming dependent on it? I have smoked off and on for close to 20 years.
That's a long time.
I'm sorry?
That's a long time.
It is a long time. I'm 37. I started smoking when I was 18, and I've actually gone several years without. But I find that during times of, I would say, quote unquote crisis,
Right.
that I turn to it more. Like, it will be constantly from morning until night. Now, right now, I'm in a happy place, so I don't.
Well, when was the
need
last
to
time you
as
smoked
much.
weed?
So I just wanted to get your opinion.
When was the last time you smoked weed?
Friday.
Okay.
So I thought I thought you just said you hadn't done it in 2 years.
No, in a long time, she said.
Oh.
I said I've gone several years without
Oh,
it.
okay. My bad.
But I haven't smoked in a
I've
long
gone
time.
several years without in the past, but it started. Actually, I went through a really bad breakup last year, and I started smoking heavily near the end of last year. And I've cut back significantly in the past month or so.
What is cutting back? That's the first
What
thing.
is cutting back?
What was it like before, and what is your definition of cutting back? That's
Before I would say would be from morning until night.
wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, as soon as the high would fade, I would smoke again.
Okay.
She needs it to keep going.
But now it would be maybe every couple days late at night. I mean, the less I smoke, the more it pretty much kicks my ass.
Right.
The progression. That sounds like the progression. You know, Judah always says this, like, if you're calling and asking, you know, if what is having a problem, or is this a problem, it normally might tend to lead to yes. And really about addiction and alcoholism, and including, smoking weed, is do I use it to cope? Why do I drink? Why do I use? Is it, to cope? Is it because it releases me of, my problems,
My inhibitions.
does it keep me from what? And it sounds like it helps you use it to cope, right?
And now that everything is good, you're not using it as much.
Exactly.
The question is, what's going to happen when not everything? Because life isn't always going to go well. I mean, I don't think.
How long has it been that you? What's the longest you've not gone? You said a couple years, like ever, not even one hit.
The longest I've gone was about 7 years.
7 years without smoking.
7 years without smoking.
What did you do in that 7 years? Did you?
I was married to somebody who was very controlling.
Okay.
Okay.
And were you getting drunk a lot? Were you?
Yeah, I was. Well, that's actually when I started. I did not even get drunk until I met him. I was 24.
Right. So
yeah,
you
I think
basically took out the pot and you replaced it with alcohol for 7 years.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
then now you're back to that.
Judy, here's the thing. It's do you think you could go a month without smoking pot right now?
Do I think I could go a month without smoking
Yeah.
it? Honestly,
Yeah.
without.
Okay, if you have to think about it, the
Yeah,
answer's probably
I-
no.
I get
I'm
it.
taking too long. I think the first. I'll be honest. I think I could, but I know the first 2 or 3 days would be hard.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. 7 days. I'll tell you what. It's Sunday night, 8:45, 11:45 your time since you're in Florida. Let's try for 7 days.
Okay.
Will you call this
Yeah.
time
Call
next week?
this time next week at about same time, same bat station, and let's see how it goes.
And then, because, if you could do 30 days but do a weekly check-in and be
Yeah.
really honest, like,
Yeah.
we have nothing to lose
Yeah.
or gain here. It's...
So if I cave, I'm still.
No, I
calling
would
and
still
telling
love
you
to know if you
hey,
did. I'm
I
not. We're not.
caved. Okay.
Lord knows I'm not.
we're not going to scold you. We're not going to punish
right,
you.
We're the least punishing people in the world. I'm just curious to see, because here's the deal. It's like what we were talking about. Maximum in life, the maximum fun you should have is, and I mean this, is being sober. For me, the greatest buzzes of my life have been my first sober date, my first, going to college. So, all these things, and not having like you were saying, the drink to cope, or the marijuana to cope. And you might find that things are even better.
Or the controlling husband to
Right,
cope.
or the ex-controlling husband.
The ex, yeah.
But you might find that all the things that are new now without you smoking might even be greater.
Yeah, I think that's where you get to identify too if you have a problem. You know, it kind of leads to, you know, I know that if I was doing it to cope, you know, and not to just have fun, like if I was doing it every once in a while to have fun, I would keep doing it.
Yeah. But it doesn't sound like, if you're questioning, it doesn't sound like it's that much fun anymore.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? It's like nobody that, you know, it's people that are having fun with something don't go, should I stop?
Or call and say, like, do you think I have a problem?
Does that make sense?
I mean, again, this is not judging you. It's
No,
not
we're
making
judging
fun.
you. No, just joking.
No,
Yeah.
not making fun of you. It's like, you know, I get it. I have been there. My God, I have tried to put it down so many times. I swore it off. I'm like, okay, maybe I do. Oh, okay, okay. And then I switch over. And then it's maybe the controlling boyfriend for a while, or it's the abusive boyfriend, or it's the drugs, or it's the alcohol, or the shopping. It's always getting out of self.
Oh my God, totally. And then when you talked about eating disorders, I'm just obsessed with what I put in my body and body image and the shopping. Oh, I think I just have an addictive personality.
I'll be honest with you. I think you might do, and you might as well. You know, I mean, if you can relate and you see that, it's like, it's painful, you know, and again, it's like, it goes to like, and what am I lacking in life? Am I lacking self-worth, self-esteem? You know, what do I need to deal with? Like, I used to think that like the man would fix me, and then, you know, I've had many of them and they didn't fix me, and I don't mean like a billion of them. I'm just saying, like, I always like cut their heads off, and I'll use the next victim, you know, as I call it now, and I can't keep doing that anymore. Even sober, you know, I needed to learn to be alone, and again, earlier in the show, I was talking about how I'm dealing, you know, 6 years sober and over 6 years sober, and I don't walk around going, oh, daddy issues, but I'm dealing with dad issues, you know, and I'm forgiving, and I'm forgiving myself, and I'm also realizing, like, you know, how am I okay with just me, you know, and is just me enough? You know, and I got to tell you, it is. And I thought I had to be something different, and I don't. Right. You know, I still can be a wacky person. I could still go, oh my gosh, like, you know, I'm not perfect. And I get to find the balance in all my life, you know, in all areas of my life. You know, they always say with us women, you know, if they say cutting, I wasn't a cutter, but if you cut, if you drink and use, that's another one. Men, sexual relationships, or women, you know, it depends. And eating disorders, if you have those 4 in check, then you're okay. And it sounds like you relate a lot to me and a lot of how I used to be and how I am and how I have to, like, you know, address these situations, even sober. And I encourage you to try to find yourself. And I would love to see this progress for the next month.
That's actually awesome that you're saying that. By the way, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Clean Radio. That's Clean with a K. We're on the phone.
That was really deep, by the way. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. I really feel you. No, but Judy, I really feel you. Like, I feel for you, and I feel you. I really understand you.
And, you know, and it's really, I think, Judy, it takes a lot to call and talk about these things. And I think sometimes the hardest thing, it's like we're constantly, until we're willing to give up and surrender, we're always looking for different things to fill that spiritual void, whether it's men, whether it's marijuana, whether it's food. I've had all these, you know, I've had food issues, and I know it's tough. I mean, for me to get sober in the beginning, I was scared about gaining weight.
Yeah, and for women in society today, and I know for men it's hard too, but for us women, men, it is hard. It is not easy.
Yeah.
It is not easy with all those things we have to deal with like trying to be what we think the media is creating us to be. And when we realize, like, we get to create who we are and want to be,
right? Not
the media and what we see in Photoshopped.
Judy, are you gonna try it for a week?
I'm gonna try it for a week. It starts now. So, you guys are awesome.
So no alcohol or drugs, right?
You're a lot stronger than I am, and I hope I can.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Honey, you can be here and even in a better position.
One of my biggest pet peeves, and I hear this all the time in 12-step meetings, is when somebody goes, if I could do it, you could do it. And I'm like, really? You're that special? And I'm always like, if we can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, but it's, you know, I see it differently than you do.
It's
like,
okay. I see it right.
No, but you know what? Exactly my point is, you know, I'm open for change and to be teachable, sir. But you know, one of the things is if I, Junkie Jen, can, like, seriously, like, that loser, like, hope to die, people just looked at, like, let her die, hopeless case, can change, a lot of other people
We'll
can.
agree to agree that I'm right. So, Judy, are you going to call back next week?
Calling back next week, guys.
No alcohol or drugs for 1 week. Follow us on Facebook.
No acting out.
And follow
in
Jen
any
on
way.
Twitter. She responds. You could even direct message her. She responds to everything. You're actually really great like that. Judy, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Judy.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
I want to hug you.
So you could hug her next time.
Air hug. Air hug.
Have a great night. By the way, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Clean Radio. Yeah,